Good evening and salutations, my Days of Lies fans. So, before I get started, and this is a rumor, the actress that plays Sierra Victoria, I think her name is, I'm not too sure. Well, she's leaving again. And I don't, I lost count how many times that, this woman has left the show. And granted, I'm not knocking her to an extent. I do feel like if you're going to leave, you should probably just leave. But with that being said, if she wants to sit there and do something else, that's fine. The problem with that is that, you know, her character and Ben's character, their storylines are so connected that, what she's doing off screen is going to affect his storyline on screen. And although I am not a fan of recasting, I feel like this is one of those times where it's like you might actually have to sit there and recast. I look at even on General Hospital, Kristen Storm when she left. It's like they tried to scramble some storyline together for Nathan, and it turned out to be one that a lot of people didn't like. I enjoyed it, but a lot of people didn't like. And eventually she came back on the show, but because she left, it's like his storyline got affected, and it's not fair to the actor. I mean, granted, I'm not a fan of both of those characters, but actor wise, like the guy, whatever, it just sucks that his storyline kind of got to be affected, especially up until a point where it's like, she left, so we may want to put her with Claire. It's like, what what are y'all doing? So yeah, hopefully they get that whole thing straightened out. Start off with let's start off with EJ and Clyde because I actually found their retelling of EJ getting shot to be kind of funny. Especially since someone sent me the original clip of the other actor, when he got shot. Long story short, EJ doesn't remember. Whatever drug that saved his life, he can't sit there and think about like who shot him. Which, to be honest, it wasn't even Clyde. It was like I guess like one of Clyde's guys or whatever. But he can't remember it, and so Clyde's like, all right, that's cool. But EJ still needs somebody on the inside to sit there and kind of look out for him. And, since they worked together before, and by work together, I mean, EJ gave Clyde orders because, that was his boss. He's like, all right, we can just kind of, more or less continue this relationship in jail. So it should be interesting. And the reason why I found that, like, that scene so funny, I remember them doing it a couple of times on GH with like Carly and Lulu and stuff like that. So, when they had to sit there, reshoot the shot of, the new actor playing EJ getting shot, it was like, I don't know how, I don't know how some fans are going to sit there and feel about that. I felt like it was a little kind of weird on GH, so I can only imagine how people are feeling about it on this show. Um, so we finally find out what's going on with Sarah. And the reason why she's been acting off is because of whatever was in the syringe really messed with her brain. And when Kristen was there telling Abby, about, the whole struggle and the needle and everything like that, that's when Abby started blaming herself for it. And she was there telling Kristen about, how she was going to like threaten Gwen with the syringe and stuff like that. And so she feels partly responsible. And to be fair, it's really all on Kristen. Now, my thing is, and I was sitting there thinking about it today. I was like, okay, cool. You had to sit there and cover your tracks so you kidnap Sarah and everything like that. But you're already in the clear. Why didn't you just not let Sarah go at any point? Like that was the thing that was just kind of blowing me for the last past couple of days. Um, with the whole Sarah being, kidnapped by Kristen. Because it was like, all right, cool. You have to sit there and kidnap her on the fly. I get that, but you could just return her back home. Like with Abby, I get it. She has people, that is kind of counting on Abby being like still like kidnapped, but Sarah is no longer a threat to her. So why isn't she still? Why is she still? Why is she? Why is she still there? You know? Yeah, because when Sarah, is there talking to Steve and Kayla, they're sitting there looking at her like, "Yo, is everything all right? Like, did you get like a head injury or anything like that?" And it it turns out that Sarah thinks that the love of her life is Tony, and she thinks that she is a character named Renee Dumont. I have no idea who that character is. Clearly before my time, but yeah. So that's what's going on with Sarah. Now, Kate and Chad had an interesting conversation because it seems that Kate just can't make up her mind. She's sitting there talking to Chad, and she's like, I don't understand, like, EJ is going to be in jail for so long, and, I feel really bad. And, I'm just like, what do you want Chad to do? Because if Chad actually told the truth, your son would either be killed or in jail or both. So you don't want Lucas to go to jail or being killed, and you don't want EJ to, you know, be in jail for a crime that he didn't commit for such a long time. And I'm pretty sure you don't want Chad to go to jail because, from what I understand, Chad is like a son to her. So what is it that you exactly want? So they argue about that for a little bit. Chad is still angry because, he still thinks that, EJ was hitting on his wife and kind of forcing himself on her. So they argue for a little bit, but ultimately they squash it. Tony comes in, and Tony is actually going to be a big help because he knows the pilot. He knows the pilot personally. He also knows where he's staying at. So they're going to sit there and fly out there to, talk to him or whatever. Cases like, that can be kind of dangerous. This guy, could have a gun or anything like that, but Tony seems like he's on good terms with him or whatever. So, Chad's like, all right, listen, we're going to try Tony's way. And then when that doesn't work, then we'll try my way. To some extent, there's one point where Kristen, asked for the key back from Abby, and Abby's like, she just has that, I'm not giving it back. So then Kristen pulls out a gun, and Abby gives it back, and I'm just like, Kristen, what are you going to sit there and do? You're going to shoot her? Like, what is the plan? I don't understand that. Um, and to be honest, do you really need the gun on her? Because, well, she's trapped on an island, and what is she going to do? Like, what is she really going to sit there and do? Um, I was thinking about that as I was watching the episode. I'm like, what is she going to do? Swim? Use a kayak? In shark infested waters? Good luck. Even when Steve and Kayla and Sarah Smith they're talking about a kayak and stuff like that, and Steve was like, listen, I can sit there and navigate this, that, and the third. I'm just sitting there thinking about Castaway and how it almost didn't work out for him. So, good luck. So, Jack comes over to see Gwen, and Jack is like, yeah, Abby's missing, and where's your sister? At this point, he practically accuses her of, doing something with, Abby. And of course, Xander comes to her rescue and is like, listen, we haven't seen her. She wouldn't do that, this, that, and third. So after they argue for a little bit or, talk very intensely, Jack kind of realizes that, maybe she didn't do anything and, he starts apologizing to her. And, at this point, I'm just looking at this whole thing. So, obviously, I'm looking at this whole thing. So, when Jack noticed the ring and she's like, yeah, we're engaged, we're going to get married. And, there's hugs around and, Jack is sitting there saying how happy he is for both of them. And, he's happy for her and stuff like that. I'm just looking at this whole thing. I'm like, Gwen, how long do you think this is going to last? How long do you actually think this is going to last? You are literally lying to your dad about the whereabouts of your sister, sitting there saying things like, oh, don't worry, she's going to be found soon. Just keep hope alive and this, that, and the third, and we're going to get married. I'm like, when this whole thing comes crashing down on her wedding, I presume, because that's usually when these whole big reveals actually happens. When this whole thing blows up in her face, this is after Jack is like, yeah, listen, when I found the person that did it, I'm going to make them pay. Oh, man, this is going to be good. I mean, he did all this work to sit there and try to get Jack back and get his attention and his love and everything. After you screwed up, again, I've lost count at this point. You're going to lose Jack. You're going to lose Xander. This whole thing is just going to be one lose-lose situation. All because of your lies and everything like that. And you're going to have nobody to blame except for yourself. And it should be quite entertaining. Yeah, it should be pretty entertaining. I think that's about it. And I gotta sit there and say, once again, I definitely do miss this show. And watching it on, I'm not gonna sit there and say what platform, but watching it on this platform, there was one point where the days, like whoever was recording it was coming out pretty crappy. I'm so glad that this person has got their act together because um, it's definitely looking a lot better. Let me just double check my notes one more time. And with that being said, I think that's about it. So, I just forgot my outro. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. It took me a second. Thanks for watching.